Hey,
All right,
Are we live?
we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 11th episode of season 2 of Around the Block. I'm Ors, and we're joined here by Blink, if you want to say hi.
hey guys, hello.
And,
What's up, Link?
Hey, what's up, Renge?
It's me,
Renge and
Ren.
Oris.
that
Special
Huh?
is
guest.
Renge, yes.
Wait, this is episode 13?
Wait,
Wait, no, isn't this episode 11?
this is
No.
I said 11, right?
He
I
said
thought this was
11.
13. I thought last week was
Oh.
the 12.
No, we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Well, what's good?
what's good, everyone? Yeah, so we've got Blink here. If you want to give your little spiel like besides just saying hi, like how would
Uh,
people know you?
Founder of harddrop. Been in the Tetris community since forever. Probably one of the longest veterans that are still around. You guys are well. If they're watching this, they probably already know who I am because I've been in Tetris community for so long.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
You're hella hitting them with the I'm kind of a big name around these parts.
no, that's not my intention. It's more
No,
like I don't know what to say
it's
aside from that.
true.
I'm the
It's
founder of
true.
hard drop. Founder of hard drop. That's it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
you guys know me.
Yeah.
We do.
Uh, but yeah, so what's been going on with you lately? Uh,
Uh, lately, I've been streaming way less. I've been playing a lot less Tetris than I did in the past.
yeah.
Mainly focusing on like real life stuff lately.
Yeah.
Work. So it's still just work for me. It's been like that for a while now. So just
Yeah.
adulting it
Mhm.
and
You're
then
a
yeah, go ahead.
you're a software dev, right? Or I don't
Oh,
know.
I was, but I'm still in the tech field. I work for a cloud company
Oh,
out
okay.
in California.
That's cool.
So yeah, just that takes up pretty much my weekdays, and then on the weekend I just sort of unwind, relax from that, and then I've been trying to spend more time with family lately because all the stuff with COVID and things like that. I haven't been getting out as much.
Yeah.
So this
Mhm.
year I'm trying to change that. So I've been going out more. I actually just
Right.
got back from my parents' house like an hour ago, something like an
Oh
hour
yeah.
ago.
That's
Yep.
very admirable.
And
Yeah.
then his first thing he does when he's back is hop on around the block as
Wow, wow.
priorities for
This is a big deal. I already rescheduled one of these earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we were
alright,
supposed
it's
to do
alright.
this last week. My bad.
Now you're good. We have lots of people we're able to talk to. Like
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
um
Who was my replacement last week?
we had
sine wave.
on Sine Wave.
Sine
Ooh,
wave.
nice, nice.
Yes.
I love that guy. And I love this guy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Uh but
But
yeah.
yeah, pretty much that. Been spending less time on Tetris. So I've probably been streaming like once a week. For the past month, something like that. I
Yeah.
used to stream 3 4 times a week even, but yeah, cut down a lot on
Yeah.
that. But I think I'll be back pretty soon. Like ramping up again.
Yeah.
There's a tournament coming up that Beast and Shen's hosting. Like a live local tournament in California
Yeah,
at
yeah, the
UC Irvine.
W
So
WPL SoCal?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
WPL SoCal. That's the name of it. That's right. So I probably high chance I'm attending that. So probably need
Nice.
to warm up and
Yeah.
practice. I know it covers Tetrio, PPT2, and
NTEC and Classic as well.
TEC. There you go. Oh, I didn't even know Classic was in
I
that.
think there's
But
I don't remember exactly if there's Classic, but I think there might be.
Shen's a
yeah,
pretty big
I
classic
wouldn't be
guy.
surprised. Yeah, he is. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is.
There was the last one too, I think.
It was there. It was on a different
Uh
channel though.
yeah. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it out to that. Or do you think you will be, Wrench? Or
That's it's a dream that I'm having that
yeah.
I would be able to fly from Vancouver in beautiful British Columbia to South California, but it's not looking great. I'm thinking
Ah,
about it though. I
Yeah.
really want to.
what do you think your percentage is? Percentage
Like
chance?
5.
5%. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. All right, there's a
There's a
chance.
chance.
A
There's a
little
chance.
scratch ticket. That's all you need. Um
A little scratch ticket, a little buying a passport.
oh, it's true.
Oh, you okay? Never mind then. If you don't have a passport yet, then
We're kind
uh,
we're kind of
l-
screwed.
less than 5%.
Yeah,
Uh
unfortunate, but like WPLs are super fun from what I've heard.
Yeah, Shen does a great job on those.
All right, but yeah, I think that's pretty much how people would know you if they didn't like at least join the hard drop server or like see any of like the hard drop wiki.
Yeah,
They see
yeah,
you
it
on
is
on
different.
Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I stream on twitch.tv/harddrop. Yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of new generation players probably don't know me, so that was
I don't
right
think
of you to
that's true. I
ask.
mean, you
Yeah.
do super lobby every month
Yeah,
or so,
every
right?
once in a while I do host Super
Yeah.
Lobby. Oscar's cool enough to help promote that.
Yeah. I think that's something
'Cause
I did wanted to get into about how like the community has shifted a bit, but I
mm-hmm.
think yeah, especially for even like newer gen players, like I would honestly consider Rengenites maybe not new gen, but like
Mm-hmm.
kind of the oldest of the new gen. But we don't really know too much about like the older era of
Yeah,
of
The older
Tetris in
era.
like
general and like
2020,
yeah.
pre-quarantine,
Pre wait
pre-COVID era
pre
Tetris.
2020 is old school. Pre 20 so 2019
Pre-COVID
2019 is old
is
school.
old school for me because I
Oh
Mm,
my
joined because of
goodness.
COVID,
well,
right?
I'm talking to babies,
so,
babies right now.
for sure, for sure.
So
Some
true.
Tetris
Yeah,
babies.
but
So true.
Renge and I both started playing around the end of TF. Um,
NFTF days.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So what is that like 2019? 2019
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
2019?
2019.
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm glad you guys got to get on TF before it went down.
yeah. I didn't really get very high ranked, but I think I
Oh,
just played
That's
samesies.
okay.
I don't think I played a single real person because I was on it
You're
was
playing
just
against bots or
probably I
single
don't know.
player?
It was Battle 2P, which I think was mostly
Yeah,
bots for like a really long time.
yeah. I think you're actually on Battle 2P back then. I think you were playing against people's replays
Yeah,
rather than
That's
them
so
playing
funny.
live.
it's very funny.
I guess yeah, that's their way of like countering in case nobody was playing the game at the time.
It's clever.
So yep, can find a match at any time of the day. Because most
Uh,
people were playing the live multiplayer on TF arena mode,
yeah,
regular arena mode. Yeah, TF was good times. I do miss that game.
yeah,
Well, TF was a big part of the reason why Hard Drop got popular to begin with. Is there was a lot of recruiting going on TF. That's where we would well mainly me, but I'd hop on try to find who the good players were, battle them, ask them to
yeah.
join Hard Drop and things like that. So a lot of the recruiting back then took place like that. There wasn't really a lot of
Like word of mouth sort of
yeah,
deal.
word of mouth.
Hmm.
They sort of knew me in the game, and then I asked them to join the community.
Yeah.
So that was how Hardro grew back then, back in the days. Uh, let's see. I started Hard Drop back in 2009,
Yeah.
and it's still around today. Surprisingly, I didn't think it would last this long.
So yeah, walk
But
us through that then. Like, I think I know a little bit about why Hard Drop was started, but I mean, like, floor is yours.
okay, sure. Yeah, I mentioned it before because I did a podcast with
With
Microbliss.
yeah,
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 and
yeah. I
that
watched
covered a
that
lot
one.
of it,
Yeah,
but I already knew I wanted to create a Tetris community. I was a huge Tetris fan, so it's pretty natural to want to transition and start like a fan website for the game that you love. And at the time, I noticed there was sort of a place missing for people who enjoyed multiplayer Tetris, such as myself, because I came from Tetranet, a game called Tetranet, and so the very first Tetris game I ever played was multiplayer, not a single player mode. And the community at the time, there was mainly just one community, one or two large communities. One was called Block Stats, which primarily based around Tetris DS, and the other was Tetris Concept. But I noticed that when I was on Tetris Concept at the time, there was a lot of it's like multiplayer. It felt like multiplayer Tetris players didn't get a lot of respect back then
yeah,
because it was all about TGM series, and TGM was like the superior, at least
yeah,
on
yeah,
Tetris Concept. That's what we should be playing. Why I remember his like little comments like, why are you still playing that? And then like sort of encouraging you to play TGM series instead. But that's a long time ago. I don't remember too many of the details anymore. But yeah, that's over a decade ago.
yeah.
But I did notice a void back then, and how I didn't really feel too comfortable being there anymore. So I was like, okay, let me try starting a community. And at the time, Caffeine, who was the owner of Tetris Concept, he decided to
Yeah.
shut down the website. So I was like, okay, this is better time than any.
Did
I'll
he
do it
really?
now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
he had
wow.
personal reasons for that. that he later told me about that I guess nobody knew, but
Yeah.
it's nothing that I can talk about on stream.
Yeah,
But
of
yeah,
course.
yeah, he had his own personal reasons for taking down the website,
Yeah.
and
There's still a little
um,
archive of his he still has the domain name and he has a little archive of things he wrote.
yeah,
Um
he does. I remember he transitioned that over to like a strategy thing, a strategy
yeah.
guide thing. I didn't look too much into it, but
Yeah.
yeah, very intellectual person and definitely knows his Tetris. So
Yeah, for sure. Um I think like in my like 6-3 guide, like I wrote that he was like probably like the one of the first people to like really think deeply about the game, kind of without any any real citation. Is that true?
that
Like, are there
I
any like other like early Tetris scholars that you know of, or
early Tetris scholars. Good question. Yeah, I don't think ever been asked that before, but there are some back in the day the analytical, super analytical, like advanced thought people. I'd say Kitaro is one. Kitaro,
oh,
I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I feel like the name
He's
is sort of
mainly
familiar.
he's a moderator on Hard Drop. He's been in the
Yeah, yeah,
community for such a long time. One of the most intelligent people that, in my opinion, in the community. And yeah, he gets into depth about a lot of things that I don't know about. But he I would count him as a Tetris scholar. I'd also count Chopin, Chopin. I think he goes by Death C now. He streams Magic the Gathering these days, but back
yeah,
then he so people know like Yakin and stuff like that for the fancy T spins and stuff, right? But
yeah,
back then it was
This is
Chopin.
old school Yakin sort of deal. I'm not gonna
So
lie, these are all
Yakin's still
names
a
I
kid to
don't
me.
know.
Oh really?
yeah.
Yakin came much later on, much later on. To me, he's still just a kid. But I'm pretty sure he's not anymore. He's probably like a teenager now. That's
Crazy.
yeah. I've been in the community for way too long. It's I've seen so many different generations of players that to me it's I like the only people who I would count as like super old school are players from back who at least been playing like a decade. That's the old school. And there's not many of them remaining actually. There's only a few who still play Tetris.
Yeah.
But what's cool is yeah, I still keep in touch with a lot of them. It's sort of like that Tetris bond is very strong even after we've stopped playing.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tetris scholars, right? That's what we're talking about. So, uh, Chopin, one of the fanciest. He was creating a lot of special setups back then and pulling them off mid game. I guess uh,
Yeah.
so comparable to like what you see, how you see like Baseball Boy playing right now, like
Mm.
how fancy he is. Chopin started that back then when nobody was really doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Another scholar was Qatar, like I mentioned. Caffeine, definitely. Trying to think. I'm sure there's a lot of names I'm forgetting because I haven't seen their name in so long.
Yeah. I mean it's fine if you can't remember them all, obviously,
Mm.
but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
just curious because it feels like there's such a huge like knowledge gap in terms of like at least in terms of credit. There are just a bunch of kind of like setup pages, but or there's a lot of like higher level concepts seem to be either unwritten about or kind of stashed away in like
are we talking
strange
about on
places.
the wiki or what are we?
Both on the
Just in
wiki and just
general.
like in general, you know, like uh I've been working for on a little like side project for myself
Mm-hmm.
and some other people. And I'm trying to like find like really obscure openers, and they're all just like on these random super old Japanese
Oh
websites
yeah.
that
Uh,
people will point me to, and I'll be like, oh my god, I found this thing, and they'll be like, no, dude, that's from like 2012 on this Japanese Wikirio site. Like, dude, what are you
Wukirio
talking? A
and
hanging garden?
Wukirio at Wiki. There's actually a wiki that was very popular even before all that, but it's been shut down since. It was called Tetris Ivory Tower. It was yeah, it was like Japan's largest Tetris wiki back then. It's a
Mm,
shame that's not still around because or I don't think there's an archive of it anywhere. But it was run by a player named Mask. Mask is all I
Yeah.
remember. I used to chat with him a lot, but he
Oh
sort
my
of just
God.
disappeared one day.
Old naming sense is so crazy. It's so dramatic. It's crazy.
Maske was the
Oh my
guy.
God. The silent E. Oh my
And yeah, I wonder what's up with them. Yeah, some of these players like I wonder what they're up to these days. But
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the first large Japanese Tetris wiki that was very successful. And just one day is it got shut down. I guess he lost interest in Tetris or something. Never asked him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh,
I like that all these like big knowledge bases, a lot of them still exist, and a lot of them like harddrop are just like
Mhm.
these like really vast like siphons of knowledge. I think it's super cool that our community has that at all,
yeah,
and we're still building
It's
stuff up, like obviously, but
yeah.
I think it's cool to have that base to
Sometimes
be
it's
like,
nice to go through them and see what people were thinking back then and what new setups were coming up at that time.
mhm.
Even a lot of it might be out of date now, but yeah, just back then, how people saw these things and they haven't really fleshed out all the details yet. But um, yeah, over time, without those, I feel like a lot of the information we have today wouldn't be there.
for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll pull back a little from just talking about history, and I mean,
Sure.
you've had your share of big moments across across the game as well. I think like there's like
Mhm.
your era of the game where you won a lot of tournaments, but is there like your any like favorite moments that you had? It doesn't actually
Oh, okay.
necessarily
So
have to be you winning, but
yeah,
Or just like like old school Tetris memories, you know.
yeah.
oh, I have a lot of old school Tetris memories, like just staying up late, skipping class to try to grind the
God,
leaderboards for my team.
skipping
Grind,
class.
yeah,
God.
I would skip class. We'd stay up late. We would stay up till like 2, 3 a.m. As a team, because back then teams were really big, and that's something I kind of miss today. But uh, team pride, things like that. Everybody trying to get their team up on the leaderboard. So we would sometimes stay up late and talk trash on other teams and just
Yeah.
motivate each other, help each other out.
Mhm.
Like people on your team would have like they'd be invested in you improving. So like you could tell they really cared about your improvement. They
Yeah.
would give you legitimate tips. It was just everybody pushing each other back then.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
sorry to interrupt. Like
yeah.
what is a team?
Yeah,
Like
when you say
What
when
is
you
team,
say
even
are
team,
you?
what do you mean by
like on
that?
TF, like
No, not on TF. This is before TF. By the time TF came around, teams weren't even a thought
well, what
really. Like
was it? Well,
what were
what
teams?
is a
Like
team?
there used to be Tetris teams like Tetranet on Tetranet on Blockos. You guys probably never even heard of
These
Blockos.
are some.
No, sorry. You're just
Blockos.
saying words right now.
No, no. Blockos was actually a Tetris game that was very popular back in the day on a social media website called it was this before like Facebook days, but like um I think OMG Pop. OMG Pop was the name of the
That
website.
sounds vaguely familiar.
OMG Pop was like a social media thing. You could like upload your profile picture
Yeah.
and chat with others on the platform.
Wait,
But they had
I think I know what you're talking about. I played that shit when I was like 8.
okay, then that's probably it. That
That's
is probably the
crazy.
game. That is probably the
Yeah.
game. That game had a
No
that I mean
way.
that yeah that social media site had a game called Blockos, and Blockos was a Tetris clone, and there were teams on there, and there were strong
Yeah.
players on there. Tetranet as well. So a team pretty much is what it sounds like.
It's like a
It's
guild in like a RPG.
yeah, a team. Yeah, basically like a
Yeah.
guild. It's a team. It is a
It's
team. It's
crazy.
a
Just
yeah. I'm
like a
not
less
making this.
pretentious word for guild. It's good. It's
You
good.
guys know what a team is. Why are you asking me what a team is?
No,
You
but
know
like
what a
we
team.
didn't
Well,
know
I
if it was
mean,
like a
teams are
if like
super
a
like.
structure, or is it like it's like a programmed structure, or is it like just like a concept?
It's you form a team and you recruit members to your team from the game, and then you guys play together, like 2v2, 3v3, 2v2v2. So
Ah.
since
Okay.
the rooms are 6 players, yeah, there's up to 6 players in a room. So
Yeah.
you could yeah, you hop in the game and then you play other teams.
I mean, I think like
I feel so
nowadays,
weird
like
explaining this.
no, you're good. It's just like nowadays, like
Yeah, that's not a thing
The
anymore.
concept
Like
the concept of team is like MCDT
yeah.
or like over under.
I don't even
I
know what
mean,
MCDT is. What the heck is that?
MCDT is the MMC doubles tournament, but like doubles as a
Okay, okay.
format in general feels sort of like it doesn't seem like like the most serious thing to a lot of people because like nowadays with how the metagame has developed, it's like
Mhm.
it's a lot about like timing your like or not a lot about it, but like it has a lot to do with like how garbage is flowing back and forth. And once you throw in like two other players into that, it's like you
Mhm.
can't really work with that at all. And it's sort of just like kind of like a like a massive, just like you're sending garbage back and forth, and nothing really matters. But like what I mean, I guess did teams have that kind of competitive like? Did it feel like just as competitive as like 1v1s back then, or
It
was it?
was way more fun than 1v1s because you're working in a team on this, and also back then teams were pretty even in terms of skill. There were a lot of evenly skilled teams, so you would have these close 2v2 matches or 3v3 matches. So yeah, back then, like nowadays, there aren't any teams, but I remember on Tetris Friends there was like a push to try to revive team tournaments, and when it happened, it seems like it seemed at the time like all the good players just stacked on a team because everyone just wanted to win, right? Like, but back then it wasn't like that. Back then it was more
Like
loyalty to your team.
camaraderie, you know.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
loyalty to your
Yeah.
team. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to win, so let me join the best team type of thing.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, you just have two teams where both teams are just incredibly stacked, and then anyone else is screwed. So it wasn't like that. But on Tetris Friends, when they tried to revive teams, it sort of just naturally became like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's hard to like revive a format like teams,
mhm.
uh, and expect it to ever be like that,
Like how it was
very,
back then. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like
is
team
very difficult
loyalty, because
too.
everybody just wants to win, right? In
Yeah,
the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it is now. Everyone just wants to win,
Hmm.
and you notice that in like professional sports too. Like back
Olympics.
then, I feel like there was a lot more balanced. Like each team had like two superstars and then a bunch of other role players, right? But nowadays,
Hmm.
you if you follow like basketball, there's just several super teams where all the best players stack on like two teams, two three teams,
Yeah.
and everyone's just chasing that ring. But yeah, it wasn't really like that back then.
There was the tournament series I ran for a little bit. It kind of lost a lot of steam because of like COVID stuff, and I didn't really feel
Uh-huh.
like running as an online thing. But I ran a collegiate league for a while, so people had their teams like within their college.
Yeah. So yeah,
So there's some
they,
loyalty like that.
I
I
think
think
yeah.
that was probably the closest that we've ever gotten community, like within the
yeah.
community, to recreating that kind of feeling.
Mm,
At least in
Yeah.
my own experience.
hmm.
But then it's like it's hard to maintain, especially
Yeah.
in COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, so yeah, any cool like really crazy team wins or any recountings that you might be able to dredge up? I know it was probably a little bit ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago, but yeah, just not any specific stories I can remember. Just a lot of really good battles back then. It was basically like going to war back then. Uh,
Yeah.
you and your crew going to war against the other team, and their crew. And honestly, it brought us closer together as teammates. So a lot of those people that I played with back then, one is like one of my best friends today, in real life. Like they ended up moving to the West Coast and stuff like that. So
Oh,
uh,
that's really cool.
Love to see it.
yeah, some of those friendships I made within the team have survived to today. So definitely brought us closer together when you're going through those battles together.
Yeah. And well, yeah, I guess we had something written down like anything that you miss from the old times that isn't present now. But I guess would teams be your answer for that? I
Oh, for
guess.
sure.
For
I do miss
sure.
teams. What else do I miss? A lot more interaction between like different communities, like different regions. So back then there was a lot of interaction between the Japanese community and North American community, and like uh I know during the beginning of Puyo Puyo Tetris days, a lot of the Korean communities started to drop by and hang out quite a bit. So I do miss a lot of that type of stuff,
Yeah.
like getting to know people from different communities that you're not usually exposed to.
Yeah. How did the community typically like communicate back then? Was it mostly through hard drop forums or were there?
Yeah, a lot of it was hard drop forums. Some was shoutbox. In order to reach the Japanese community, I was in like a private Skype room with them. So a lot of the Japanese back then, a lot of the strong Japanese players back then were on Skype,
I
and they
see.
had their yeah. We just had a Skype channel.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I think
yeah. Go ahead.
I think nowadays, where I think for a while
Hmm.
we stopped having that within the community, but now we're like slowly on the upswing, I think. With stuff like Square One and like
Oh,
Leoshoda and Kazu,
uh-huh. Yeah,
uh,
I think Cause
we
is a great
we're getting good
ambassador, by the
stuff.
way. I think
Yeah,
he's
Yeah,
amazing.
Kazu's
Kaz is
really
great.
really great.
He's kind of carrying the like the interactions between Japanese community and
Hmm.
North America and other regions.
Yeah, and
Great guy.
then like especially also like Latin America is especially just like because of like Tetrio and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, like Beyond the Stars. They do like a ton of like really really great stuff in terms of getting more interaction between North American and then like Latin American communities and
Yeah,
Yeah.
more like Spanish speaking stuff.
that's something that I don't miss from back then. Something I don't miss because back then it was really a lot of just hard drop trying to carry everything, touches community wise. But now you have so many events, so many tournament organizers, so many people doing amazing things for the community these days.
Yeah, for sure. That's but yeah, I guess with that, we can probably talk
This
about
is as good a
good
segue as
good
any.
segue into like during that time when it sort of felt like Hard Drop was carrying a lot of the tournament
Um,
stuff.
yeah.
Um,
To be honest, back then I used to spend a lot more time on doing activities for hard drop. I don't have that kind of time anymore. Back then I was like, uh I think I was only working part time at the moment, and I don't remember. I had way more free time back then. Yeah, I had way more free time back then, and I used to do a lot of the recruiting. A lot of we would host tournaments all the time, maybe like once a month or so, something like once a month. I think nowadays, my last tournament was that I hosted was HDO 12 or something like. It was like 2 years.
Your
It's been like
last
two
tournament
years.
was before I was in the community.
Yeah,
I just
so it's been a long
to
time, dude.
note
It's been a
to note
uh,
how long it's been.
yeah.
I've been here a little while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Sadly, I don't have the time and motivation that I used to have
yeah,
for hosting events. It is really time consuming,
yeah.
and even back then I was getting a lot of help. And so yeah, I think I'll be hosting one this year. Yeah, I'll host one this year sometime. But
Holding you to it. Hard drop open
Yeah.
13 or
13, I think we're on 13. Yeah, I think
hard
that's right.
drop open for women. The women's tournament name that I keep suggesting and nobody agrees with me.
What are you
Alas.
talking?
Dude,
Huh?
people want to run like a women's only Tetris tournament and but nobody can think of a good name for it.
Wha-
Who's people?
Well, I've
There's
Wait,
heard about this,
people.
but
I think Jet. Or maybe me.
wait. So why?
I've
So
only heard you
women
talk about
only?
it, Renge.
So guys can't play in it?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's the point, I
Okay.
that's
guess.
the
All
whole
right.
point. Something like that. Anyways, I'll see you. I see you
Okay.
on this hard drop open 13.
But yeah,
Dude,
so
collaborate. Collab.
Nani?
um,
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
yeah,
We were-
so
oh yeah, back when Hardshot was like,
Hmm.
carrying a lot of things.
yeah, because Hardshot was one of the only Tetris communities back then. It was
Yeah.
pretty much Hardrop and Tetris Concept. That was it. Tetris Concept at the time, I think, heavily geared towards TGM, the TGM series of games, and then so they had their tournaments where it was TGM related, but when it came to multiplayer tournaments, it was mainly hard drop. That's where a lot of the multiplayer members were at because of all the recruiting that was done on Tetris Friends. So yeah, what about those times? So, do you have any questions about it or something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd be kind of hard pressed to not ask, like we talked about it a few times. There was a period of time where Hard Drop didn't host a lot of like because Hard
Mm.
Drop went from like kind of carrying the scene to I guess you started to have more responsibilities.
Uh-huh.
Um, was like, I mean, is there anything you think that you could have done better or like anything that's could have happened to remedy we it's been colloquially called the great gap. I think
The
Jet
Great
calls
Gap.
that.
Uh,
Hmm.
I don't
do
know
we
if you've
know
heard
the
that term.
years? The years?
The
No, I
years
haven't.
I
Uh-huh.
think was 20. I don't I don't know off the top of my head. This is before
The,
our time, or is
uh,
I think
the,
Yeah.
it was like 20.
I think it
I
was
think
like
I know
just
what you guys are
before
talking
it was
about.
just before like Jstris Cup started
Uh,
to run. It was like right before we started to play. Because I remember when I started
mm.
playing, like Jstris Cup was starting to run.
Oh, so it's kind of recent then. It
Yeah, it's
sounds like it's
fairly
kind of
recent.
recent
It was like for
because there
like
was
2 years ish or something.
okay. I thought you guys were talking about like a long, long time ago because there was a period a long, long time ago
There was
where
a
there
s-
wasn't
there was a
really
second
anything going
great
on.
gap.
There was this
There was a
this
Oh my
there's a great
god.
gap that was caused by me just not doing anything with hard drop for a long time
yeah.
because at the
This
time
was
at the time I got into a relationship and I was putting all my time into that and focusing on that.
Okay.
And so I just
damn.
I
Okay,
disappeared.
okay, Blink.
I basically disappeared from
Whatever,
hard drop for
Blink.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then um if you're talking about recently, that is due to just like being in the community for so long and already having hosted all these events, I just didn't want to host anything more. So uh definitely needed help from others who want to host things for hard
Yeah.
drop.
But
But
I
at
mean
the same
like
time, I completely understand because most people they want to get their thing going on. They want to host their events and get their community growing. So that's sort of why.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean I mean was there any like uh or I don't know, like I guess did you make any attempts to like delegate tasks to other people or I don't know. It doesn't I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but I was just
mhm.
wondering like I mean we're we're all like fallible to the same sorts of things, so anything that you might have wished you would have
Uh,
done
uh,
better, you know,
I
Yeah.
see, I
like
see.
during
So
that point.
any advice in case you guys
Yeah,
run
you
into the same
know,
Or
type of
like
issue?
any
like
regrets you have during that
mhm.
period. Uh,
Regrets? Not really. I don't feel like I have. Are we talking about like the period of inactivity?
yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
like obviously,
Uh,
like your life stuff is fine. Like we're
mhm.
not nobody's gonna blame you for like prioritizing your life over this
Uh-huh.
game. But if a lot of people, you know, like they wanted like events to run and stuff like that, or
If
like
other people wanted events to run, I would definitely ask them to volunteer and help out.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to regrets, I don't really regret too much about what I've done for the community back then. I feel like I've done more than enough. If there are periods of time where I chill and I don't do anything, I think that that is deserved at this point for how long I've already dedicated like how much of my life I've already dedicated to Tetris. I feel like I just like
yeah,
if the community is if Hard Drop is not hosting any events for a while, that should be okay.
yeah. And I think definitely right now the community is
Mhm.
definitely in a spot that if Hard Drop were to stop or to like take a break, we'd be
Uh-huh.
okay, right?
I feel
Yeah,
like
definitely.
any
Yeah,
like big
more than
event
okay. I feel like the
or
community is flourishing at the moment, especially with the events from Moose and from Beast and Shen and all the other events that I see being posted on
yeah, don't
MMC.
even mention my name.
Huh?
No.
And Renge and Renge.
It's
There you go.
it's all
You're
right.
right here. You
I'm
don't need the
right
credit. You're right
here.
here.
Yeah, you gotta toot
Okay.
your own horn. You gotta toot your own horn.
There's
I
there's so many events going on. Okay, there's a lot of events going
Yeah,
on.
for
So
sure.
it's an awesome thing to see.
I think it's a good it's really good, especially like when I hear people recount of like
Mhm.
how barren the tournament scene was back in the day.
Oh, it
Even though
was.
like nowadays I feel like there are some people who are like, oh, there's so many like rank cap tournaments or whatever. There's
Hmm.
so many of like this and that tournaments. Like there are the fact that there are tournaments at all and they're consistent at all is like
Yeah, that's
so much
big.
growth
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
community. I think
Yes,
that's
I
really
agree
good.
with that, and it's right. It's right. Back then, there was the amount of tournaments was very few. It's usually just hard drop hosted events, and then every once in a while, someone would host events that are not hard drop
Yeah.
official events, and that was pretty much it. But now you have so much more than that,
Yeah.
and I think it's a good thing that there's ranked cap tournaments because I feel like that's needed for players with lower skill to still have fun in those events.
Yeah. There's still. I mean, we've talked at length about rank cap tournaments, but yeah, I think regardless, the fact that we even have the capacity to care or like accommodate lower skilled players is a feat in itself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is just volunteer work. It's pretty thankless to be a tournament organizer at the moment.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so
Well, it kind of always will be, but
Yeah,
yeah, I do agree
um,
with that.
comes with
yeah,
the job.
that's I guess you've mostly shifted towards doing I guess, super lobbies as opposed to tournaments, which have
Yeah, I
been
I
very
have more
cool.
fun. I actually have a lot of fun doing super lobbies, believe it or not. I know it's not for everyone. I know
Yeah.
not everyone enjoys super lobbies. It's kind of like it's more casual. But that I guess that's one of the other things I miss is being able to enjoy Tetris at a casual level, not just
Mhm.
tournaments and everything competitive and I need to beat this person, but just like hanging out, spending a few hours of the weekend to hang out with the community and just chat and joke around and not take the game so seriously because there's enough events where we can't take the game seriously, but just
Yeah.
remembering why we're playing in the first place, which is to enjoy the game. So that's one of the reasons I really like hosting Super
Yeah.
Lobby and still continue keeping it going.
You also get to
There's something to
play.
be said about like uh just like playing the game for the sake of playing the game, you know, and like just using
Hmm.
it as as like a vehicle to like socialize with people. And I think
Yeah.
that's what super lobbies tend to do for a lot of
Mhm.
people. Like I don't know, or if you've actually, I think you were there for one of the super lobbies. You were just like in a
Uh,
really big voice
I
call,
just
like in
watched
a
you.
really
I
big
just
voice call,
like
and you're just like
backseated you
watching us and
playing.
backseating us.
Yeah,
It was
Firestorm was
great.
there too, and then as I don't know.
Yeah. I saw on Twitter that Firestorm didn't enjoy it too much.
Uh,
He was having a
well,
bad time.
it's hard to play super like I don't know if the did the like free for all mechanics in Tetrio change? It was like if you sent a ton of damage, you would get like punished by being sent a bunch
Yeah,
of damage.
because anyone who has like payback garbage on
Payback
is
targeting.
Yeah,
so if you're
Hell
sending a bunch of
yeah.
lines early, and I've been victim to this a lot of times, but
yeah,
I'm just because apparently like stalling is a pretty good strategy in free for all, but
yeah,
I don't want to stall, and so I'm sending lines, and a bunch of people are receiving it, and then if they have like payback on, then I'm receiving a bunch of lines from a bunch of
yeah.
people at once.
Honestly, I wonder if there will ever like it could be a cool concept to like really make very fleshed out like free for all or team mechanics. I think the way we've done it so far has been
Hmm.
sort of uncreative. Like I don't know, it's just like you send
It's just
lines
like
together.
Yeah.
copy pasting the one-on-one format to
Hmm.
multiple
Yeah.
people, which is like one, uncreative, and two, it doesn't really invite like teamwork.
We've also
Yeah,
talked about this before too, but
I'd like to see something changed about that. If someone could do it, I know that Osk might be
yeah.
down.
Let's go ask.
Mm,
One day.
yeah.
One day.
One day I'll make some client or something. I don't know.
There you
I
go.
need the time to do it. I'm working on videos right now.
Mm.
I don't know. Um but yeah, uh super lobbies. There's been kind of what hard drops honestly,
I
it's a little
mean, it's
weird for like that's I would it be
ha-
unfair to say that that's what like hard drop is mostly known to for like Tetrio players?
for
Or
Tetrio players. I mean, pretty much. I'm not doing anything else. Like,
It's
we're not
either
hosting
that or
anything
the
else for
wiki or
Tetrio.
yeah, like they just
We
know the wiki.
we did host
I feel like there was
Tetrio
something,
Tetrio.
right?
Yeah, there were Tetrio tournaments before. I think one of the HDOs were Tetrio, but it's just that's the only thing that has been hosted by Hard Drop recently.
Yeah, like
Is
regularly, I think
yeah,
is
regularly.
those
And part of that is for a reason, is because it's so low preparation required. You just show up, you turn on the stream, and you play in a basically a large quick play room with everyone else, and that's it.
yeah.
I'm a fan of that. It's very low maintenance. It doesn't require a lot of setup. I don't need like volunteers to help with that. And it's pretty
Yeah,
fun too.
that's fair. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, any kind of a community effort is thankless, so, big props
Yeah,
for doing that.
yeah.
Um,
I wish I still had the amount of time I did back in the day to dedicate to events and tournaments and everything Tetris related.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
It's perfectly fine, honestly, but
Life
we're just
calls.
like talking about the past. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so now I guess we can talk about like what your plans for hard drop in the future. I mean, I guess like it sort of seems like you're pretty content with
Thanks.
the way things are, which is fine.
Mhm.
I sort of like because there was this interview you had with Winter Nebs 2 years
Mhm.
ago. I was in chat for that actually,
Okay,
but
that
I
was a long time ago.
think
Yeah.
that was like it was like 2 years ago at this point. It feels like
Uh,
yesterday because quarantine was like one blur. But
Yeah, quarantine was
yeah,
the past 2 years, 2+ years
yeah, I
already.
wanted to
Yeah.
sort of ask follow-up questions about it, but I also noticed as
Mhm.
I was going through it how much
Mhm.
like a lot of the things just aren't really as applicable anymore because of how much the community has changed.
Mm.
Um,
To be honest,
because oh, sorry.
yeah, feel free to ask because I don't remember too much of that interview. I do know some good things came out about that interview afterwards. Like on the hard drop Discord, I remember adding the
Yeah,
the,
the
the
FA.
just separating the channel and things like that. We did a couple of things after it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, feel free to ask whatever questions you had. Like
Uh,
even if it seems outdated now.
yes.
I
I
I
mean,
actually don't remember a lot.
yeah. I think a lot of like, cause Neb's main focus was that he was really active in the hard drop Discord, right?
Questions, yeah,
He was he was Mr.
the
Questions,
question, yeah, questions channel. He was really
and
big on
then
that. I
Questions
remember.
broke him somehow or something.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, people were asking dumb questions. He wished that it was better regulated, better
Yeah.
rules and stuff for the questions channel.
But yeah, I mean, I think at at the time it was sort of assumed that, I mean, like a lot of other servers have started to and communities have started to crop up that have,
Mhm.
like kind of
Like,
filtered those
Hmm.
filtered parts of our community to better serve others. Like an Underdogs Cup,
mm-hmm,
is like tailored towards newer players. MMC,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it isn't really marketed as this, but I feel MMC is definitely like a slightly higher level players because like a lot of the really top level players tend to congregate around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And then even like little smaller servers that are like kind of hangout communities will just like they'll have like a bunch of like players at a certain level and then like it'll invite more people around that level
yeah,
to join
but yeah,
or
Mm-hmm.
like be active
Yeah,
in
people
there.
bring their friends and things like that too.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of those questions have
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of those concerns have honestly just been addressed by community movements.
Yeah, just
Um,
naturally, like through need, I guess.
yeah, even like the wiki, I think 4lol has started to
Mm-hmm.
like there was the big question of like the big question of like should hard drop wiki be practical or should hard drop wiki be like just kind of this library of knowledge, and it seems
Mm-hmm.
like for like I mean, like what are your opinions on 4law? I think it's like basically the bastion of like practical Tetris knowledge. It's just like purely
Yeah,
stripped down like
yeah, they
yeah, go
filter
ahead.
it down to what the best setups are and things like that, and it's been curated. It's like it's not just anyone can contribute to it type of thing. It's uh selected and they know which ones are the best ones after doing research on it.
Yeah. So like I guess have you, I mean we've just talked about it, but like I guess
Mm.
you settled on like hard drop wiki as just it's purely for like all kinds of knowledge. It's not supposed to be like a curated list or anything.
Oh, I don't think it's ever been a curated list. It's always been a wiki. Like
Yeah.
people anyone can contribute to it if they have an account. So
Yeah. I I've there's like one thing on there's like one opener on there that I think I could
uh
contribute to, but I never got bothered to go create an account. I should go do that. But
There, yeah, samesies.
yeah, I mean let me know. I can open
My
up
one opener
registration.
is on a 6-page Google Doc.
I just want to like add one thing to this one opener that I started doing, and I think okay, that's all.
You should.
But yeah, sorry. This is a really roundabout way. I'm just trying to like sum up all the
Mhm.
things that have already been addressed. But I think the main
Mhm.
thing that interested me,
Mhm.
and I think that didn't really get a lot of follow up at the time because the community really wasn't in a place
Mhm.
to work on that. Was like it was the idea of like making hard drop more into like a platform for a lot of creators to like put their stuff onto. It was like
Oh, yeah. So that was encouraged. So wait, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. Let
no,
me see if
no, go ahead. I think that if you know what I'm
that
talking about, then like
are we talking about how people can stream their own content on hard drop and things like that?
yeah, yeah. And like
Yeah. So that was actually encouraged pretty heavily after the talk with Winter Nebs, but didn't seem like so we did get a couple of volunteers. People wanted to do their stream their content on hard drop, but after that it sort of just dried up and nobody really wanted to do anything anymore. Like there was even a channel for it where you can post your ideas on what you want streamed on the channel, and then once approved, we would give you the stream key to do it. So we did have a couple of things. like we've had other tournaments host non-hard drop tournaments that are hosted and streamed on hard drop. We had charity events as well. I don't know if you remember, but um the Tetris Tunes one. Uh and I think they were planning to do a second one, but it's sort
Oh,
of
I
just
remember
they
that.
just
Yeah, yeah,
disappeared
yeah.
too. But there were just a couple of small events here and there. Not that was a small event. I feel like
That one was
they
pretty
did a
that
great.
was one was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. I agree too. And some large tournaments. I know Moose hosted one. I know Beast and Shen has hosted one on Hard Drop channel. But yeah, we're down to allow people to use the stream and use Hard Drop as sort of the platform if they're willing to. But
Mhm.
it's there. It didn't seem like there was a lot of interest in that.
Yeah. But I think definitely it was more like a, in my opinion, it was more of a
Mm-hmm.
community size thing, like people willing to create content in general. I think if you look
Mm-hmm.
at like YouTube now, like if like Tetris, if you like Google Tetris on YouTube now, it's like it's becoming more lively than ever, I feel like. And I think if we were
Yeah.
to like publicize that again,
Uh-huh.
I think you get
Uh,
a lot more interest
oh,
in
you
that if
think
that's
so?
still something.
I think it's
I think
I'd
so.
possible.
still be down for that. I
I
do
don't
think
know.
I do
Or
think it's bigger now because of the success of Tetrio. To be
for
honest, I think
sure, for
success of
sure.
Tetrio
Yeah.
kind of made the communities blow up a bit.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Wrench?
I
Yeah,
think
sorry,
a
Rich.
lot of people within the community now want to just they a lot of people want to grow their own brand. Like a lot of
I
That's fair too.
these
Yeah.
I
like
agree with that.
littler, not littler, but like a lot of tournament orgs
Hmm.
are like running their own channels and they're doing their own thing. I don't know
Uh-huh. That makes
if
sense to
like
me
that
too.
kind of infrastructure of
Mm.
having things being streamed on hard drop
Hmm.
is a thing that like a lot of
Yeah,
people
I don't.
nowadays.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
if it
think
was
that.
popular, if it was popularized back in the day and it like caught
Yeah.
on better, it would be it would be the norm now, but I don't
Mhm.
think given the current landscape
I
is
can
is
see that
how
too.
things will run.
I actually agree with that, and I think that's what we saw right after the interview with the Winter Nebs, the chat with the Winter Nebs is yep. Even while trying to promote this thing, yeah, people just want to grow their own thing, and that's totally understandable. They're trying to start up their own communities and get
Yeah.
their own community events
That's
going.
fair.
So they want to stream on their channels and grow their channel. Why would they want to help grow a hard drop channel when it doesn't really like unless they feel a mutual benefit from it, and the benefit would be like just larger exposure at the beginning. But I think a lot of people want to start their own thing and gain that exposure themselves and
Yeah.
just continue growing it that way.
I
And
definitely can see that too.
yeah, and I think that's the way that like WPL and Puzzle Kingdom and look at them now. They've
Yeah.
grown big time.
Yeah. I wonder if it was like a timing thing. I think there had to have been like a timing where that would have worked out.
There
Like
definitely was.
There,
I
I
think
think there was, but maybe
there always
that's like it
just
was
it's just
way
it's
probably
like a luck
way
thing.
before that. Way
Yeah.
before that. It was probably like early Tetris Friends days, maybe when Hard Drop was one of the only communities around.
Yeah. Nowadays I think the like a lot of the communities Renge has that will definitely attest to this, that like a lot of the communities are super duper connected right now, but
Mhm.
yes.
at the same time it's like it's kind of like the UN instead of
We are
like
kind of like the UN. That's actually such a good
that
analogy, and I hate that it's true.
um but yeah, I don't know. That's mainly what I
Mhm.
wanted to talk about with
Well, do you have any ideas about that? What do you think should happen? You have a suggestion that you think might work? Like
um
I'm open to hearing ideas.
well,
I mean, I think hard drop is kind of it's in a place that I think you're comfortable with, and I think
Mhm.
most of the community is comfortable with it being,
Mhm.
because I don't think a lot of people will like especially anymore will like expect hard drop to be like hard drop 13 coming soon, you know? Like
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't think anybody coming into the stream today expected you to be like, yeah, hard drop 13,
Mhm.
eyes out.
Yeah, I think
And
people kind of
I
know
think
what hard drop
usually
is by now.
yeah, I think
It's
that's a
yeah.
good thing, right?
Mhm.
And the fact that there are other tournament orgs
Mhm.
to like pick up where hard drop left off and to like grow their own stuff, and the fact that everybody's so interconnected
Yeah,
is overall very good for the community.
I agree
And
with that.
I
I do
think
agree with that.
we're in a good spot. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. I think yeah, it's just like my entrance. or not my
Mhm.
entrance. I didn't really enter the community for a while, but I like lurked around for a while. But my
Mhm.
impression was that a lot of people for a long time viewed like hard drop as like this the like center of the Tetris community. And I think
Mhm.
or I don't know. I wonder I don't
I
know.
feel like
Do people still feel that way?
Do
it
I
people
is
think
still
there's
it
feel
a
is
that way?
possible
mixture.
that at the time it probably was because we were still doing things, still doing a lot of events.
Mhm.
I mean, hard drop. I feel like hard drop will always be around.
Yeah.
And it'll go through these waves of activity. I definitely should get some more help on hosting events and things like that. But yeah, finding help is
Yeah.
it it yeah, it's a heavy time commitment to ask.
Mhm.
I mean, you can ask in that the modern tournament Discord. I'm sure a lot of people would be down to help
Oh
out.
yeah, that's
That is
totally
true.
true.
But yeah, I don't really know. It's
Is
not
it
too
that you
much
want
like
to
super
do you want
concrete
to
questions.
see? No,
But
no, I get you, and I have had people reach out to me that sort of miss when hard drop was more active, so like or want to see hard drop succeed, and I think that's pretty amazing that like despite
Mhm.
all this, like all the inactivity, the lack of hosted events and things like that for was like 2 years, more than 2 years now, and people want to see hard drop continue to succeed and continue to be active and host events again because I feel like a lot of it is they miss how it was back when we were more active.
yeah.
So I yeah, let me
But
figure
I
out.
think it's like if just because we're having this talk, you don't need to
uh,
change any plans that you're having,
uh,
especially if it like, it conflicts with your actual time commitments
mhm.
or like existing plans. But like I was just wondering your feelings on it. If you're perfectly content with how hard drop is going, and it seems like
Yeah,
you are, then
I
I
will
can't
say
ask anything more. But I was
I will
just
say
just
right now
asking.
with how hard drop is right now, I'm okay with it. I'm okay considering how
Mhm.
busy I am with work. So it's gonna fluctuate. Um, yeah, it's gonna fluctuate.
Yeah.
That's one thing I know for sure about not just hard drop but the community in general.
Yeah.
There's gonna be periods of activity and inactivity too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am
Do
glad
you
to at
think?
least see that you're still
Mhm.
thinking about the community. It sounds like you still have some plans to do
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean I still stream a little bit. I still stream a little bit. I still host super lobby, like I still enjoy the community. I still
Yeah.
host super lobbies and things, and I try to watch tournaments and donate to them when I can also. So
Yes.
Banger. Do
Sorry,
you guys
Rich.
think that now? Uh, I think when I joined, even Hard Drop was probably one of the first servers that I joined, even though I wasn't like ever super active in it. And I think a lot of people around who joined around my time, which was
hmm
like 2020-ish, mid 2020, like
uh-huh.
during lockdown-ish, kind of viewed Hard Drop as like this like the center of the community, like where's that? Do you
I
think that
didn't.
that it's changed? Like people view a different server or a different org as like the center of the community.
I think a lot of people find hard drop first because
I think
like
so
maybe
too.
maybe they search Tetris community or Tetris forum or something like that, and usually hard drop is one of the first
Yeah.
one of the top results because I don't know what's been around longer and has had like more clicks since then. Or
Hmm.
yeah, I think it would be one of the first results. Not to mention it's also like a partner Discord server, so
Yes.
that
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
helps bump it up in the results. So usually people find hard drop first, and from hard drop, there's a lot of people who like maybe they ask a question and people they get pointed to the right direction type
Yeah.
of thing of where
Hmm.
they're trying to end up or where they're trying to go. Like, hey, you should join this community.
Yeah.
They host events, they host tournaments for like rank this through this and that type of thing. So a lot of people I think people mentioned it to me before, but hard drop's kind of like a hub right now. It's a hub
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it helps Tetris players
Find where they're
It's like
going.
a hub
yeah,
world.
get to where
Yeah.
they yeah, get to their destination
Yeah.
where they fit the best within the Tetris community.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the good things about hard drop is it's so connected with pretty much all the Tetris communities as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But all right,
it's serving that purpose.
just to play devil's advocate a little bit. I think
uh-huh.
there's a strong argument that the Tetrio server is what people find
I
first.
think so.
mm,
I
mm.
think nowadays
Nowadays,
it's
yes,
either Hard
nowadays
Drop or the
yeah.
IO server.
Yeah, I agree with you. Most new Tetris players these days come from Tetrio,
Tetrio.
and
Yeah.
they find Tetrio server first.
But I
That being
think
said,
there's definitely
Tetrio
still a
does have
sorry.
a link to hard drop on their page.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. I think there's still like a pretty. I would be shocked if there wasn't at least 50% of players finding their way to hard drop first.
Mm.
But I think it used to
Uh,
probably be like 70%, and now it's like
yeah, it's kind of yeah. I was yeah. Hard drop is it used to not just be a hub type of thing. It used to be the community that people would go and stay at.
yeah.
It it's not like that anymore. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
way more active communities that are
I think
hosting
it's cool
events.
that there are a lot of like not smaller communities, but there are a lot more communities, and there are a lot more
Mm,
like places like MMC
mm-hmm,
and even like Orza server or my server
mm-hmm,
that are just kind of like places where people who play Tetris will just happen to be.
mm-hmm.
I think it's cool that those
Yeah.
places are kind of hustling and bustling lately.
Yeah, for
I
And
sure.
don't
it's
know.
not just like one server where like everything
Mm.
happens.
Yeah, I think if there's just one server, that's never a good thing.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. I mean, are there like are there any advantages that you saw back then that maybe don't happen anymore? I don't know if you'd be able to answer this actually, but
What do you mean by that? Like
do you guys
advantages?
see any advantages to having like a really centralized community as opposed to, or
What?
like, are there any
Mm,
disadvantages to having like really splintered communities?
I'd say there's good things about it, bad things about it. There's good things. Everything's in one place. It's gonna be the most active community because it's the
Hmm.
one place. So for a while, Hard Drop was like that for multiplayer games. Any multiplayer Tetris, Hard Drop was the spot. There wasn't really any competitor servers because there wasn't Discord back then.
Yeah.
So that was the form
It's
that
just
people used.
forums, right?
Yeah, it was the forums. It was
Yes.
forums was the main method of communication back then. There's forums.
So.
There was that chat box, the shout box. So Hard Drop was the place for multiplayer Tetris.
Hmm.
Um, Now anyone can create a Discord server just with a couple of
Yes.
clicks, and then
Yeah.
start getting their friends in there and basically pop up a new community.
And just like yeah, you can just like pop you can do like pop up image dump or whatever and
Mhm.
Yes.
eventually there'll be enough people who are like, "Oh, I'm friends with this person and this person. I will join this
Yes.
community or I'll join like Edge
Yeah.
Court or whatever."
I'm leading
So
into this. I'm leading into this.
Mhm.
How
but
much do you guys
yeah, go ahead.
think like the switch to Discord affected how splintered the community is
Oh, definitely a ton.
compared to
Mm.
Definitely a
like
ton.
everything being posted on forums?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to hear Blink's perspective on this too.
It split up the community into a bunch of servers because now they have a lot of options and people have to split up their time between servers now. So uh, yeah uh,
Everyone finds their favorite.
yeah, everyone finds their favorite, the people that they connect to the most, and they'll be most active on those. Whereas before they would have been active on this other server, but now there's a different server that they're active on instead because there's more options. So it did split up a lot of the activity and chatting between
Hmm.
players. That's why sometimes you might be in a couple of Tetris servers that are not active, and then others are doing well, but it's usually like the same group of people chatting.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
I think we've definitely had that. Or it's just like people will migrate to a different server depending
People
on.
people
it's
definitely
just like
do
straight up
migrate.
migrate.
Yeah.
They'll
Uh,
yeah, I've
like okay,
definitely heard
I'm
that.
done. I'm done with this server. Let me-
Or
This server just
and then
like
that
straight
previous
up
server becomes
died.
yeah,
it becomes a ghost town.
it's less overt than that. It's more like like you host VCs and like they'll start. They're usually in this one server, and then suddenly well, every once
Like
in a while they go to this other one. Let's use
and
this
now they're
one.
going and now they're regulars on the other one, and this one
Mhm.
they're
Oh
barely
no.
chatting on anymore, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Classic.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything you do to avoid that. That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like people are gonna my friends are active on the server. I'm gonna move over to the server and chat there.
yeah.
And yeah, that's part of
Mhm.
the. It's just the way that people communicate now. It's not forums anymore. It's immediately instant chat.
It's happened definitely in like a ton of different communities. It's nowhere.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
definitely
just
not
Tetris.
Yeah.
Tetris,
I don't
but
know what you could do to avoid it
yeah.
either.
I think
I don't
as
know if you can avoid it.
two internet zoomers like Renjin, I don't think I ever was really a part of like forum era internet.
Mm.
But
I
I don't
think
know.
same.
Like,
I think more or less same. I was probably kind of active on like Pokemon Showdown
yeah,
because I played that for a little bit. I think one thing that helps, at least in terms of like our community and how we tend to do competitions, is just like a lot of people, in terms of like being active in this and that server, a lot of these people will be like, they'll just be friends with each other across servers. So things
Mhm.
that need that, like the big centralized, this is a message that everybody needs to see.
Mhm.
And be it like tournament announcements or like actual like big community things that have happened,
Mhm.
or anything like that.
Oh, my
The
chair.
signal
Sorry.
boost that happens within our community
Mhm.
is really, really strong. Because
Mm.
like if you're Blink and you're friends with Moose, and Moose is friends with Beast and
Mhm.
Beast and Chen is friends with whoever else, then like the
That's
the
everyone's server.
message
Yeah.
that goes from one server will get everywhere,
I
and
think
everybody will be able to see it.
I
And I think
think that's
that's
just
the
UN
biggest difference.
era Tetris community.
UN era Tetris.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is like UN era. Yep. There's a server for the tournament organizers, so
Yeah.
that we can
Yeah.
so we don't try to schedule events at the same time, and to help signal boost each other, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
I honestly think like cuz I think you started to get more involved with the community range just as like the community started to become more connected
Oh
and like
yeah,
you
for
were
sure.
definitely like a big proponent of connecting the community. You're like you made friends with a lot of different organizers. Honestly, I think you're probably like one of the big reasons why it's become
I
connected
I,
now.
I don't want to toot my own horn,
No,
but
no.
but I
let's go,
do
Renge. Let's
think
go.
Let's go. Come on.
being like
Get that credit you
just like
deserve.
the servers that I happen to be in and the people I happen to talk to,
Uh-huh.
just like kind of accidentally got there.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, like Moose was in like Tetris Melee, and I talked to like
Yeah.
Beast and Chen a little. I talked to Modest a lot, talked to Jet a lot, and just like things happened to happen, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. I do credit myself a little bit
Yes.
It's
with
deserved. It's
connecting
deserved, dude.
people.
But yeah. All right. Sorry, but I think and Blink, you've been around in the community for a long time, but I joined I think just at the period where
Hmm.
the community was at its most isolated, or at least in my
What period is
section of the
that?
community. There's
What
like
is your section of the community?
I joined the Garbocan underscore the core wide, and I didn't
Okay.
hear any opinions outside of those that server.
Oh,
And I
were you
think
not?
it's
Were you
pretty
only on that
similar.
server? You weren't like
For
in
a
multiple
while,
servers?
I
Oh,
was pretty
okay.
much just on that server, and I think a lot of people
Okay.
like in Wumbo's community were kind of in a similar way.
Isolated. Yeah.
Yeah, but then like as Tetri released, or like I got better at the game and I talked to more
Hmm.
people in the game. Um, like I joined like and then I joined MMC really early on, but I didn't really talk to anyone in there. But then I just like
Mm-hmm.
randomly decided to like stream like Jstris 1v1s. I just like put a stream link in like the 1v1 title, and then like Giant from MMC came to beat me up, and also Plu once they came to I beat Plu 15-14. It's crazy. And
Got to bring that
Super.
up. Got to bring that up for the
gotta bring it
podcast.
up, gotta bring it up. But yeah, and then that's how. And then also at the same time, I think I was starting to do UC coaching and stuff. But like there was such a
and I,
long time where like I felt like I didn't really interact with the community too much, and I
Mhm.
only saw the community through this very small lens. And I think that's a pretty common
Yeah,
experience for a lot
I
of
think that is
players.
common, and I think that, yeah, once people are in the community for a longer period of time, that's when they start seeing that the community is not just one Discord, not just one
Yeah.
community.
Hmm.
It's a lot of other areas to explore, and the ones that are more serious about the game and more serious about being part of the community, they start branching off
Yeah.
and getting exposed to all the different parts of it.
And I think that's happening a lot faster now, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially since I think it's pretty much encouraged. Like, okay, oh, you probably want to join this server to get help on that and that type of thing. So
Yeah.
people are pointing each other into the right directions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
People just like will tell people, they'll tell their friends to join like a ton of servers now. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, you join like Team TSD server for Tetrio Cup, you join PK for Tetrio Rookie and PPT stuff if you're into that. And then you join the enhanced
Uh-huh.
server if you want to play in seasonal, and you join this or
Yeah,
that. And you join Betra server if you want to practice
I see it.
Nah,
downstacking.
nobody joins the
I
Vesta
see people
server.
I see people pointing that out too. Like in the question channel on harddrop, or like in the Tetris lobby, like, oh, how, my Tetrio is running into this issue, or my TEC. Where do I find people to play with? And people just point them to the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great that we have like uh one thing that probably benefits from having like this like pseudo splintered community that I don't actually think is that splintered. Uh, is just like people can be specialized in like giving a certain facet of advice or being specialized to a certain form of player or game or whatever. And I think Or's talked about this a little bit. I think it's really really nice, and one thing that having a lot of servers as opposed to one forum gets to that result a lot better and a lot more like just a lot better. I don't know what adjective to use.
No, I get you, and yeah, Tetris is such a it covers so many different variants that how can one server be be it for everything, right?
Yeah. It's also like that 300 friends theory or something. I don't know. Like the number of intimate friends you can have at once. Like as a server starts to hit like a critical mass, suddenly
Hmm.
you can't really make friends anymore, I feel.
Oh, where'd you hear that from?
I don't know,
It,
some
it sounds
class.
true.
I don't
I
remember.
don't know. He said.
Sorry, I made that up. I just made that up right now.
I didn't make it up, but I heard it somewhere.
Yeah,
It's probably
no,
true. I mean,
no, it sounds
you
true.
walk
That's
into
why
like a
that's
crowded
why I
room.
asked where did you get that from, because I wanna look more into that.
Yeah,
Like once a
I'll
server
look
reaches
it up. I'll look it
once
up.
a server reaches a certain amount of players or a certain amount of people, it's hard to make friends on it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if you apply it to real life, like you walk into a room with enough
Mhm.
people in it, and you're like, oh, I can't talk to any of these
Hmm.
people.
No, I get it. I think it's true too. I think it's true too. And actually, people have brought this up before with how large hard drop server is. Is that sometimes they like I've had this like specifically people PM'd me and said it's hard to like get involved and get started chatting on hard drop because of how large it is.
I found it.
And like they're like everybody already seems like they know each other type of thing.
Yes. Sorry. I found it. It's called Dunbar's number. It's proposed to
Dunbar's
be
number
150.
150.
It's like a
Dunbar's number.
suggested. Dunbar's number is a suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain stable social relationships. Dot dot dot. By using the average human brain size. This sounds like kind of pseudoscience. There's probably some number. He said it was 150. I'm not reading a paper here. It's just Wikipedia, so like, I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. It's got to be something though. Anyway,
No, it sounds real.
I
okay.
believe it.
It's probably also gotten bigger because of the internet, but yeah, let's. I think
We kind of exhausted all our topics.
we've got a lot of
Yeah.
topics here. I think there's a lot of people kind of itching in chat. I didn't really get to like talk
We're
to
taking
people.
chat questions.
We'll take a few chat questions and then
take
Go
probably
for it.
call it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Any chat questions?
Should I? This is on Twitch.
Well, we can
This
read
is
them
on
out.
Twitch.
If
We'll
you
read them
wanna
out. Yeah.
open
This
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
should
Okay,
will
okay.
have chat come
yeah,
up
yeah.
when they send
This
a message.
amazing scene right. Oh, what happened to the game? It's not playing anymore.
Yeah, this will should show
What
the
do you
chat
want
when
to
someone types a
play?
message.
Oh, okay,
You wanna
okay,
just
okay.
Like if
walk
I
fish
type
to the side.
message, there you
I
go.
see it. Look at this production quality going on over
Production
here.
quality. So I don't know.
Andrew4043 writes, any hard drop
Hiring
position.
positions.
Hi, Dad.
If a position at Hard Drop will help you land a job, let me know. You can use me as a like a reference, and I will lie my ass off to help you get that job. So I'll
Let's
say, yeah,
go.
you did an
Nobody
amazing job.
point the
Yeah,
employer to this
Andrew did. Andrew
podcast.
did an amazing job with this project, this side project. If anything, Hard Drop related will help you guys get a job. Let me know, and if I can help, I'll help. True story. Not even joking. I've done it before. So there you go.
Yeah,
I
It's
would
a
great
crazy.
definitely do that
advice.
too.
It's hard. Yeah, job hunting can be hard. So if that can help in any way, let me know.
Dag
Remember that one
writes.
time?
Yeah.
Like,
You can read
Can
it.
we ban that guy? Who's the? I think this Dag the Gero guy is trolling.
I
Oh,
love
speaking of which,
Dag.
we played Tetranet on my last stream. I think the last stream was like three days ago or something like that, and it was a ton of fun actually. I don't know if you guys ever played Tetranet before, but it was
I've looked at
it,
it. It looks awful. I'm sorry.
it, it,
It looks so bad.
don't hate it till you tried it. Don't hate it till you try it. It's
All
actually
right, all right, all right. I'll trust
it
you.
could have been nostalgia, but it was a lot of fun playing that night.
I'll trust you. I'll trust
I think we played like an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I'm pretty sure a lot of that fun was just memories of when I first started playing Tetris, so that's probably why. But it was good times, good times.
Yeah.
Tetranet.
Yeah. Oh, we usually ask questions on Twitter, but I think we forgot to do that today.
We definitely forgot to. We should have. I think we
Oh,
would have.
Yeah,
HD
we would have
server
had been
mods.
able to get a lot of good
drop on.
questions.
So speaking of
That's
HD
actually
server mods, Andrew, anyone who has asked to be a server mod never got it. Just a heads up. So
Yeah.
anyone who's been a moderator for hard drop never asked for it. Like
Yeah.
that was one of our things when we searched for moderators. Anyone who has asked for to be a moderator never got to become one.
That's tough.
Yep. That's you're
Yeah.
out. You're out, Andrew. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's you're cut.
I guess is it like you mostly just look for like already like outstanding community members and
Yeah, just like from our interaction with them or seeing how they chat there,
yeah.
how like do they have like a neutral tone? Are they very emotional? Do they seem like a level-headed normal person who can do we trust their judgments, that type of thing. So
Yeah. All right. Makes
Kind
sense.
of interesting. I haven't thought about like adding staff or like adding mods to any of the things that I head
because
or
sometimes
run.
there's
It's
not a
just like
need, like
I don't know.
unless you see it's becoming a problem and you need to have more moderators, like if moderators will fill a gap of a certain time
Yeah.
zone or something like that, then
Mhm.
but if you don't need one, then
Yeah.
yeah, no need. What for?
I think yeah, there's definitely that paradox. Like there's I think a lot of servers or a lot of just like groups of people in general have more cooks in the kitchen than they need, but
Mm,
the problem is like if you don't have that many people, if someone
mm,
leaves, like suddenly everything breaks. If you only have the bare
mm.
minimum, then
Mhm.
Yeah,
if something breaks, you're kind of screwed. You need like it may seem like bureaucracy, but you need some reduplication at least.
I think as a community, the Tetris community is pretty chill. Like people aren't really acting up. Usually, the people that we ban are just people who are trying to troll, or they just joined the server and they're starting to
Yeah.
spew like racist stuff and purposely trying to
Yeah.
get banned. Those are such easy, fast decisions that and then
Mhm.
you move on from it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Silent River asks, what was it like organizing stuff for the community back in the early days of Tetris? How did you
Was it
organize
hard?
tournaments before Discord? What? How did?
Uh,
Yeah, actually I'm
uh,
curious
um,
about this cuz I know
before
we had
Discord,
like
yeah,
uh
there were other instant messengers. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Renge. What
we
were you
had
saying?
like I don't remember who we had on. Or I don't know, maybe we just like talked with Modest one time where and he
Yeah.
was like Revolution or like Rev
Hmm.
2 was a nightmare, but even though that was bad, I feel like whatever you had to suffer through Blink was like probably worse. Like
Like,
2014 hard
Back
drop
then,
forums were
yeah. I
crazy.
mean, yeah, I think my first tournament that I hosted was a really large. Well, it wasn't my first tournament, but I used to host. I think my very first tournament was HDO1. Actually, I hosted HDO1, and I think it was on Blockbox. So it was. I mean, back then there wasn't really um a tournament type of format to strive to. So we were just going along with the ideas I had in my head on the format and things like that. So
yeah.
it's just a community forum post of the format of the tournament, and we would all hop onto the Blockbox server, and anyone could find their matches there, but because it had like a live chat, so it was easy to schedule the matches. Pretty much just create the bracket and then post the bracket, and then people sort of did things on their own. And if they didn't, I was on the server, so I just asked them like, "Hey, are you playing your match?" And if not, I would just
Wait.
forfeit them. Yeah, I'd forfeit them and move on.
Wait.
I wouldn't give them too much time.
So is it just because
Uh,
everyone just no life the game or something, and then you could just catch them on Blockbox, or
Oh no, the tournament. Okay, so this is such a long time ago, so I don't remember, but it was really there was really no pressure back then. We weren't streaming the matches, so there
uh,
wasn't that all that production quality. There wasn't even Twitch back then. I'm trying to remember.
Church
Was
was
it
like
I think we
2010
had
or
I think we had people record their own screens. Each person had to record their own match using like Cam Studio or something like that.
Cam
Um,
Studio. Oh my
it is a good question. So back then it was pretty much just like create the bracket. So my part of the thing was opening up registration, create the bracket once registration was closed, and then the
Yeah.
tournament start date, let them know, and then go play your matches. If you don't report it, I'm gonna forfeit you. That's pretty much it.
But
And
was Challenge around then?
say again.
Was Challenge around then? Or what did you guys use to make the
Oh
bracket?
no, 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 we had a so I remember downloading a bracket template thing, right? A bracket template and
Yeah.
pretty much typing in the names on it.
No.
really?
Oh
Yeah,
my
so that's what we
god.
did.
That's so
That is what we
funny.
did. And I
Oh my
might even
god.
still have some of those brackets somewhere on
Yeah.
the hard drop server for the very first tournaments. the very first tournaments that we hosted.
I would
And
love
then
if you just tweeted some of those out. That'd be
okay, I
crazy.
need to find those. I need to find those. I'm pretty sure they're on the server
No
somewhere.
context hard drop Twitter tweet.
It,
That's a good
so
one.
and what we would do is it was harddrop.com/tourney, which
Yeah.
no longer works now, but um
Rough.
it was part of it was a web page that I would just update the iframe. First I'd update the picture when someone advanced. So so when someone advanced, I type in the name of the winner, and then we yeah, and then the iframe would load the latest bracket. So people would see there for their bracket
Oh, wait,
to
you like
find out
had
who
it?
their opponent is.
Did you have your own like photo hosting, and then the iframe pointed to that photo, or like?
It was yeah, it was our own server, the server that was hosting Heartdrop. So I would just
Nice.
update the file. I would update the picture file.
Let's go.
Yeah, so that I mean that it's very sloppy. It was very sloppy back then. Even later on, it was sloppy for a bunch of years. But
No, no, that it's
people didn't care about the production
that's
quality
yeah,
of the
that's the
tournament. They
kind
just
of
wanted to
like
play their matches.
scrappy like grassroots tournament
Yeah,
we like to see. That's our
it was just
roots.
like
That's our
yeah,
roots.
that's how it started. That's how tournaments started on Hard Drop. It's like you're playing this person. This is the bracket. I'll update the bracket after you guys report your scores. Report the scores on the Hard Drop forums. That was everything was on Hard Drop forums.
Yeah,
Reporting of matches, other player confirms there, and then from there we update the photo with who won, and then keep it going.
that's so
That's it.
wild.
It's very sloppy, but it
Yeah,
worked.
no tournament sites, no Discord. It's crazy.
No Discord. We did have to. Yeah, it was just forums. We used the forums back then.
Yeah.
TTO2 gave out TF rubies. Yeah, it did. We had a lot of collaboration with Tetris Friends and the Tetris Online Inc. company.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw, but they used to advertise Hard Drop within Tetris Friends. It had a link to Hard Drop,
Really?
and
That's
yeah,
cool.
Hard Drop has a tournament coming up. Click here
Yeah.
to battle against the strongest players in the world,
Do
and
you
that was inside the game.
do you think like I guess I'm kind of going off chat questions or
Mm.
like going away from chat questions here, but do you think
Yeah.
like our like distance to like the actual like official Tetris games, I guess like Enhance is kind of an outlier, but I
Mhm.
mean just from your perspective as someone who's been around in the community for a while, how do you think our relationship with like TTC or like official game companies has kind of fared across time?
I think it was a lot stronger when Tetris Online Inc. was a thing. Tetris Online Inc. We actually knew a lot of the people there, and they asked us. They used to get our input, and we would provide them with beta tests and feedback on a lot of their multiplayer ideas. And when that company shut down, Tetris Online Inc., a lot of our connection to Tetris company disappeared. When that company shut down, that was our connection. So yeah, TOJ. Uh, we we had the developer of TOJ actually on our forums. I forgot his name. Do you remember Baseball Boy? Do you remember the dev for TOJ, Asian dude?
Narrows it
He
down.
also was the dev for Han Game.
Oh
Ace
yeah.
Magic. Ace Magic. His name was Ace Magic. So Ace Magic on Hard Drop Forums was actually the developer for TOJ and Han Game Tetris, Ace Magic,
Mhm.
and he would actively post on the forums and ask questions and things like that, try to get our
Yeah.
input, and we would ask him stuff about the inner workings of TTC at the
Yeah,
time.
that's really cool. I don't know.
Um,
Mhm.
I would say now it's non-existent, and that's sort of thing that happened over time, and
Yeah.
in- our
I
increased
think.
resentment towards TTC as well as like
Yeah.
seems like their shift of focus away from game and game quality towards
Yeah.
like just merchandising and products and being a business, which makes sense. They're watching out for their bottom line, their profits and stuff like that. But I don't even know if that's working for them. But yeah, it's sort of severed after that, after those days of when Tetris Online Inc. shut down, and they shifted their focus towards away from the games.
I never knew that that like way back when there was like official dev support for the scene. Because I mean, honestly, that seems so like pipe dream to
Yeah.
have
Mm.
like
It was
official backing from
it was
Tetris
pretty much
Awful
just hard drop.
community.
I actually because I met some of them at some events back in the day, at some CTWC events, and invited them over to the Discord. I'm not Discord, over to the community forums, and some of them joined from the. So we had Ace Magic, who was the official dev. We had Hank Rogers' son was also on the forums. I
Let's
forgot his
go.
name. Damn.
Hank Jr.
Uh,
Let's go.
no. We had we had a couple other Rogers. So there were people within that family who were on the Hard Drop forums, and they used to post and we had a lot of their staff too. That we met at the CTWC event,
Yeah.
and actually the first tournament TTO1, the first large tournament that we hosted, TTO1, that was the grand finals of that was commentated by TTC staff. TTC they they brought their staff to do the commentary for the grand finals of that between me and Hebel Mai in the first TTO. That is TTC staff members, not Hard Drop community members.
Yo, he didn't want Ace Ace Magic didn't want zero LCD.
Yeah, and I agree with him. To this day, I agree with him on that. I feel like line clear delay adds a form of balance to the game that I don't know why it was removed, but
Just
just fan games shifted all about speed.
yeah,
We want that instant dash, instant line clear delay. We want
it's Jez's fault.
everything got geared towards speed, and I think that sort of ruined a lot of the balance that we saw back then. That's why I still enjoy games like TEC more.
Yeah,
I mean, I do enjoy Tetra, but when it comes to like games I enjoy more, it's like Tetris Friends, TEC, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Tetris DS, those type of games where timing matters, countering of garbage, like your lines
yeah.
feel like they mean more, and people miss drop and they don't clear it in 0.1 seconds.
Timing matters, but like in fast games, but just in a very different way. I think it's
If you are going like 2 pieces or 1.5 pieces faster than your opponent, you could do pretty much whatever.
oh
You're
yeah,
gonna be
that
so
that's
hard to
kind of
kill. Like I don't even know
that's
how
like an
yeah
insurmountable difference. Or
yeah
there's cheating ways to do that. If you
mm,
like play at like 1 PPS for like 5 minutes and then you just do a
mm.
5 PPS spike,
Yeah
technically, oh, I'm
yeah
a 2 PPS. I beat a 3
uh,
PPS player. But it's like, all
uh.
right, bro. But
I'm trying to read this. This is so tiny, the font.
oh, I'm sorry. This is like because it's like the screen share.
Yeah.
Baseball
Let
Boy
me watch.
shared the. I can send you the link as well if you want to read it.
Okay, but yeah, Ace Magic was the dev for TOJ and Hun game, and they let him go. If I remember correctly, they let him go and they let Tetris Online Inc. Shut down. But
Oh,
he
that's
definitely knew
you.
what it.
Wow,
That is
There
me.
he is.
that's
What did I
crazy.
say? What did I say? Community consists of players from many different Tetris game backgrounds. True. So it's tough to completely agree on one set of stance. True.
AR8.
Dash
Blink
133
continues to
AR8.
agree.
133 I think is pretty standard. I don't know what it
Is
is on
it?
PPT. I think 133 is like 6 frames.
Ah, dang.
Not six.
It's definitely more
Not
than
quite more
Memories.
than
six.
six.
When did I post that?
7.
2011.
Let's
Maybe.
go. 2011. Damn. I've been playing Tetris too long, dude.
Okay. Oh yeah, and
Yeah, I've
do
been
we
through so
mention
many.
enhance?
What about Enhance? Yeah, Enhance is awesome. I think they're doing an amazing job with the community and listening to community feedback, doing updates according to what they're hearing. Yeah, I think I love Enhance as a company.
One of my favorite things is the enhance update to how they find matches in ranked mode that
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure was basically just because Kazu couldn't find
Yeah,
any matches at all.
I'm pretty
I
sure
thought
that is.
that was such like a
Just for
like
him.
it would have been so easy to just do nothing because it
Yeah,
basically only affects like
One
Ka-
guy.
maybe 3 people.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but I
It was
think
only
that's very
affecting like
representative of the
Kazu, Dormy, and like whoever it was in
Akashirobu.
third. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kashirobu. But yeah, they saw a
Um
problem, they fixed it. That's
mhm.
pretty cool.
In terms of being an outlier on that nowadays, there's a question coming in from Silent River in the chat.
Okay,
Can't get on that.
If you look at it's
I
not gonna show in
can't.
the chat anymore,
I'm so
but
sad.
in
um
terms of being an outlier, who me?
if you
No enhance.
enhance
Oh,
in terms
enhance.
of dev
Okay,
support,
okay.
um if you look at any other official company
Uh-huh.
like TTC, uh
Hmm.
they do nothing if not are actively detrimental towards the growth of our scene, which I think
Yeah,
really, I don't think anybody will disagree with that. That is really
I
bad.
I
It
felt
really
like Tetris.
sucks.
I felt like Tetris Online Inc. Cared. They cared.
Hmm.
Tetris Online Inc. cared. Tetris Enhance cares. I don't know who else cares that make official Tetris games. I've seen firsthand Electronic Arts when they were working on not Electronic Arts, sorry, Ubisoft. Ubisoft when they worked on Tetris Ultimate, I could tell they didn't care. They didn't care. I was a beta tester for them, and the
Yeah.
producer, you could tell he doesn't play Tetris, doesn't really know much about Tetris. The people I was providing beta feedback to didn't really care. Like I was trying to let them know, like we need to at the minimum be able to change our keys like for the game, like change what our buttons are because not everybody uses the same buttons in Tetris. And they're like, well, if they're actually good players, then they'll be able to win no matter what buttons they're using. I'm like, what? Okay, I'm not gonna give any
Oh.
more. I'm not giving any more feedback after that. And they launched a game. They launched a game with no button configuration
Yeah.
features, and that was one of like the most negative. Like most of the negative Steam reviews were because they couldn't change buttons, and so it already got off to such a horrible start. And from there was no recovery. But that's
Yeah.
that's one of the examples where it's like either detrimental or not even caring
Yeah.
about the community or community feedback. Like at that point, why even get beta feedback? Why even? I think that was for an illusion that they cared.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's such a
But
basic feature too. Like,
yeah,
what the
I don't.
heck?
I don't. That you could tell that if they're leaving that out, then for sure they don't play Tetris.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. But yeah, companies that care, Enhance, Tetris Online,
There
care.
aren't very many.
Yeah, there aren't very many. I think that, and then all the fan ones, but those aren't
It
official
costs
games,
like a ton
obviously.
of money to like get a Tetris license as well, right?
It
Yeah.
does. It does. I don't know how much, but it does.
Like it's hard to find that kind of money.
Hmm
So I don't know. Maybe one day some like one developer will hit the lottery and for some
And
reason
buy
decide to buy
and
a
create an
Tetris
official game.
license instead of doing
That'd be
anything
cool.
else good with the money. Like I don't know, donate to charity or something. Who cares about that?
Donate it to the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a charitable cause if I've ever heard one.
Time to Kickstarter that.
Yeah,
That's the dream.
that could be viable.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Or it depends on how you market it. Things kind of
Yes.
go wild.
Mhm.
Well, I won't think too deeply about it right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think if we don't have any more chat questions, I guess if it is there, we've been running for like 90 minutes, like an hour and a
We've
half
been
at
going
this
pretty
point.
long. This one's
It's
been a
been
long one.
I mean,
it's been fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has been. This is one of the few times I've ever talked to both you guys.
Yeah. Well, I think we're both in that one like 10-man Valorant server, so maybe we'll play
Oh yeah,
at some
yeah.
point.
Actually,
I
before this,
heard
right
I
before this,
heard that
Modest asked me to
Modest
play.
was looking for someone
Yeah,
to play 10
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
yeah,
Modest was
yeah.
asking me to play, and I'm like, I have to do an interview with Ors and Renge.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm
oh, okay.
sorry,
So
Modest.
so that would have been today would have been my first day playing with them.
It's okay. They found 10 people.
Okay, cool, cool.
That's tough.
You stream the games, nice, nice.
Yeah.
We could,
But
yeah, okay, we'll play together next time, dude. I
yes.
I still have $200 on there to buy skins that I didn't spend.
Oh my God. Why?
I don't know
Why
why.
did you spend
I
two
don't,
hundred
and
dollars?
and then because I remember during like there was a period of time where whatever dollar amount you put in, they gave you like 50%
Oh, the
bonus
the
or something,
value. Let's go.
or double bonus, or like they gave you 2x whatever you
That
put in. So
that's
I,
how
so I
they
think
get you.
I think I put in 100 and they gave me 200 credit. This is like
Oh,
during the
okay. I
beta, like
see. I
before
see.
before the game actually released. And then
It's like $100 whole dollars.
and then when the game came out, I didn't even play it. So this
No.
is gonna be my
No,
these are gonna be
no.
some of my first games after like the
If
first
you play CS, you'll
couple
probably
weeks.
there's some
I
small learning curve, but it'll be fine.
No, I played it a little bit back then, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Then
I did play CS.
Don't worry. If you know
probably
how to
better than
shoot
me.
and you
It's
know how
okay.
to run,
No, I'm looking forward
you
to
can
that. I
easily
want I want to play with them.
290 stack super hard. Don't
Sounds
worry.
like fun. Wait, Wrench, do you play? You should join us too.
No.
He's
Oh,
played
okay.
once. He's played
I
once.
played
Uh,
I played Valorant one time and then my hands started hurting.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have
So I
RSI?
We all do.
no, I
Everyone in the
just play
Tetris
on my
community
bed.
has RSI.
I don't. I've been in community for so long. I'm
You
lucky
have
enough to
like
not.
unreasonably good posture, Blink. You have to understand.
Wait, no,
You
I
have like
don't. I feel like I.
unreasonably you have
Oh,
unreasonably
No,
good hand posture.
Renge
I've seen
doesn't
your
play on a
stream.
hand
chair.
posture.
Renge plays on a bed. He can't. He has no space in his room for a chair.
I feel like I have bad like hand posture because my wrists are on the desk. My wrists,
Are
yeah, both
they?
my
I
yeah,
thought I remember
they
you
rest on the
floating.
desk while I. No, I don't float. I don't float. That hurts actually.
It's
If
just
I float,
it's just as long as you don't have your hands, your wrists tilting up too much. Like you can't have too much of like I
yeah,
forget what the word is.
I never do the keyboard tilt thing on the back side of the keyboard, the stands on them.
Yeah, you
I
shouldn't do
never
that.
prop
You
those up.
shouldn't do
Yeah, I
that.
You're
never
not
prop
meant
those
to.
up ever in my life. And I don't use any wrist rests or
Yeah.
anything, but I've been lucky enough to
Wrist stress
still
is also bad for you. Do you know that?
oh, yeah, I never use those.
Yeah. I think uh, I need to
Yeah,
remember. Some
my hands
research
are
I've
still
read
okay.
says they're good, but also some other things I've read say they aren't good. I don't
Don't worry, Blink.
Okay.
I'll buy you a mouse pad with wrist
Uh,
rests.
Certain
I,
kinds. All right. All right. Is there I guess we'll try and wrap up a little here. Is there anything you want to promote or anything else you want to say? Blink
I want
before
to
we call it
promote
off?
the Around the Block podcast by Renge
Ah,
and
Oh,
Ors.
so true.
thank
Make
you.
sure you guys follow their channel, support them. They're awesome people, as you can see. Um, just yeah, nothing really from my side. Just
Same
continue
So
being
when's the
same
next
awesome
old.
at the
hard drop super
community.
lobby?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so next Super Lobby. Sometime this
Is there
month.
gonna be
I
an
don't.
April one?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
There'll
think?
be an April one. I'll host one for April.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't see why not. It's like it's an hour and a half to 2 hours,
Yeah.
and there's
Mm-hmm.
no setup required, and I do have fun in those. So there will be an April Super Lobby. I'll probably announce it this weekend. This is the weekend. I'll probably announce it next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Please don't kill like 3 events by running it on the 16th. I would really appreciate
All right. The
that.
sixth. I wanna announce the
Actually,
Super Lobby for the 16th.
April's kind
16th.
of terrible. April has a ton of
Yeah.
stuff,
We'll see. We'll
but
see.
UN
that's a good
era
thing.
community. Too many events. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is a good thing. It's a good
Oh
thing.
no!
There's
Oh no! Too
always
many
something going on.
events.
All right. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Blank, and thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, thanks for the invite, and yeah, and
Yeah.
for the good times.
Yeah. And thank you else to all of our viewers, either here on Twitch, if you're live, on YouTube, or on Spotify, because we are there as well.
Ooh, you're on
What a love
Spotify?
bug.
You guys,
It's really
Yeah,
easy
this
to
the
be on
this
Around the
this
Spotify.
Block
It's
on
so
this
easy
gets
to
Spotify.
be on
uploaded to
Spotify.
Spotify?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
really?
it is.
Apparently it's
Uh,
super easy, and we've been getting extremely few listens on
Yeah,
Spotify,
but
which
it's
I
so
find
easy that I just
absolutely
put
oh,
it on.
I do want to advertise something. You guys stay tuned for my Spotify podcast coming up.
Let's
Just
go.
it's
Let's
just
go.
like rips of Blink's
it's
VOD.
it's called Around the Block.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
All
thanks
right.
for coming, everyone.
See you around.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, thanks for those questions earlier. Silent River, I think it was Silent River.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for the
thank you so
questions in
much.
chat.
Oh, Rain Wings. Sorry. We should probably, I guess, rate someone. I'll stop the stream and then we'll rate someone.
All right, see you
All right.
guys.
See you, everyone.
thanks for coming.
Okay, bye.